Hi and welcome to Mindfulness Monday. So this week is about quitting. I want you to quit something this week. I want you to quit something that is weighing you down, that is either taking your energy or that is not filling you up, that is not serving you, that you're doing out of commitment or you're doing out of obligation or that you're just doing out of sheer habit and momentum. So I quit something really big this last week. I gave notice on teaching some yoga classes that I had for over 10 years, and I have been evolving to go, oh, this is where I want to spend my focus and my time and attention. This is what I want to teach. This is what I want. This is my passion and desire. But for the last little bit, and although teaching these classes and these courses I had gotten so much benefit from them, and I had learned and grown so much, there is a point where you become stuck and stunted in that growth, and you have to go, you know what, that's now become a habit that's not a habit that's going to allow me to grow any further in, and I need to drop it and I need to quit it. And as soon as that came up to me, I was kind of thinking in my head and going through what could I do to create some more space in my life for growth, because I need some more time. You guys, we have a finite amount of time and precious energy and space in our life for things. And as soon as I asked that question, it just came up, and it was like, you need to quit that. And at first I had, scarcity economy of like, I get an income from that, or I that's a commitment that I have, and what will happen to my students, and all those things. And then as soon as those thoughts came in, almost as soon as they started to come in, they just literally faded away, and this big yes, this delicious, sweet, hard yes just welled up and went, yes, that's 6 to 7 hours of free space every single week that I will now have to wrap my passion and my time around doing something that fills my cup up. So it's really important for us, you guys. We make commitments in our life, and we make them oftentimes either out of obligation or habit, or because it's the right thing to do, or because society wants me to do it, or just because we start and it feels good and we just keep going down that habit pattern or rut. So I'm going to invite you this week to look at your life and see if there's something you can quit. Maybe it's quitting watching obsessing about or watching the news, or maybe it's quitting, finally quitting and saying, I'm going to tell that person I don't feel like this is a productive relationship. I'm going to veer over here and start and break that habit pattern of that tit for tat communication with them. Or maybe it's a job that you have, like I did, that I said, you know what, I'm quitting this literally, or figuratively. Maybe it's something of like, I'm going to quit all my habit patterns, or just look at and reassess your habit patterns around what I do in the morning. What we do in the morning makes us so either more productive or less productive throughout our day. And maybe it's just looking at an area in your life, like your morning or your sleep time or your habit patterns around something, and going, okay, what do I do that's not working, that's not bringing me more energy, that's not filling my creative cup up, that's not filling up my juices and getting me excited, and filling up those spaces of desire and passion, and just saying, what can I do to make changes around those areas and let some things go. So this whole week in Mindfulness Mondays is about letting go, quitting what doesn't work for you anymore, and just cutting that cord. And then allow yourself to also feel that peace and that space, and allow yourself to just be saturated with it when you do find something that you want to quit or look at or drop or let go of, and just go, what does that feel like inside? Is there a lightness there? Is there a space there? Does a yes come up of like, yes, that was the right call to make? Start trusting your gut and your instinct. Oftentimes we go through life and we don't make changes because we're just kind of stuck, and we're a little bit afraid, and we don't know what's coming up, and at some point we just have to cut the cord. We just have to go for it. You just have to say, yep, that's it. And I can't tell you, we're going to talk about growth mindset next week. This is why I'm talking to you about preparing. This is like your fall or spring cleaning for preparing for growth mindset. Because I can't tell you how many times I've tried things in my life and went, oh, that wasn't the path necessarily for me, or oh, I got all I wanted out of that, it wasn't as much as I thought, and then I move on and I veer over here. And we're so afraid to do that because we feel like, oh, I'm wishy-washy, or I look like I'm not committing, or I made this commitment to myself to do this, but it's not really working for me, and we don't drop it. Before you let something go, there's almost this like fear, this sense of, ooh, wells up in you before you make that decision. So the two things that help you to make those decisions are, is it something that I'm a little bit intimidated by, or a little bit like if you have this curiosity but yet this kind of fear of letting go, then you're like primed in a space to let something go there. So try it, and if you need to try it with something small, like getting rid of a habit pattern around somebody that you have a relationship with that's not productive, or just looking at your morning habits or your evening habits, and try it there in those small places. But if you can, get bigger and try it in other places to just quit, cut that cord. I quit wasting my energy on that thing or that event or that whatever it is. I quit, and I want to reclaim that energy. I want to reclaim that potentiality for creativity and passion in my life. And remember, I have a finite amount of resources. I have a finite amount of time. I have a finite amount of space to be on this planet and play in this body and explore and grow. So I want to sip it in. And so I'm excited to hear you guys from you if you quit something this week, or if you find a change that may be effective for you, or something that you want to let go of. Thanks so much for joining me. Namaste.